This is the third company that I've seen over the last 3 months, like actually have a valid, functional, going public autonomous vehicle.
Fox Business Alert Lyft CEO David Risher telling Fortune today there is, quote, zero likelihood that self-driving cars will replace human drivers in any reasonable time frame. Referring to an EV fleet.
That is cap. That's cap. And the reason that he has to say that is because he doesn't want his Lyft drivers to start quitting or looking at other things to do, nor does he want to have a situation where he's got to go ahead and deal with, neither does Uber have to deal with that, because that is cap. That's cap. That's a lie. In downtown Atlanta, I already came by an autonomous sedan, Wemu, I think it is, Woo. It drives around the city already. Picks up and drops people off already. This is not true. So when they say that, you got to use some common sense, because I believe they're just doing that just so that they don't incite some level of panic.
Of ride-hailing cars, Risher said it becomes an expensive asset depreciation issue. Now, if that's true, could the freight industry beat Lyft, Waymo, Tesla, and the rest to fully autonomous fleets? In a sign, the answer might be yes.
Waymo has a car. I think it's Waymo. They already have a car in Atlanta doing that.
Another autonomous EV freight company, Einride, is set to list on the New York Stock Exchange. After agreeing to a SPAC or reverse merger with Legato Merger Corp. 3, Einride expects to debut in the first half of next year. Einride will join Aurora Innovation and Kodiak AI in the driverless truck race. Einride CEO Rusbe Charlie joins us ahead of the big moment. Rusbe, you're in 7 countries, including the U.S. Who are your customers here and globally? Who's already using you?
So thank you very much, and thanks for having me. So we have, as you said, we're active in 7 countries spanning from Dubai, Europe to the Middle East. Our customers include customers such as Heineken, GE Appliances, and Carlsberg are examples of some of the customers that we work with in Europe and in the US.
Okay, so I see Pepsi on your website. You're driving for them. I see
Correct.
Oatly. This sounds like you've convinced some of these companies to use your product. Let's show your product on the screen. These Einride trucks are...
Wow, you hear that? Pepsi? Pepsi's no slouch. They're going to go with innovation, and so they definitely gave Pepsi some deal.
Pretty futuristic. They don't really have a cap. Can you describe them and how they are different from everything else that's out there when it comes to autonomous freight movers?
Absolutely. So basically, when it comes to our autonomous technology, we've built this sort of a stack consisting of 3 proprietary parts, which work sort of together seamlessly to be able to automate the transportation for our customers. It's the Android driver, which is at the core, the software stack that allows that sort of fuses the camera, lidar, and lidar technology into our digital sort of 2 separate autonomous driving stacks that makes the decision, if you will, for the vehicles. That combined with the safety case that sort of it shows how we can operate these vehicles in a safe way, together with our remote surveillance stations. That is all fed into this vehicle that you see here on the picture, which is our own design, cabless from the beginning. So there's no cab in the vehicle. It's built for autonomous from day one.
The world's first autonomous, no cab, border crossing truck. So they've already completed the run. Truckers, if you're a trucker right now and you watch this, I used to think that trucking would be around for a while, but when you consider that, what was it, horse and carriage went out once trains started to run, all you can do now is learn how to work for the railroad. So in this case, if you're a trucker, you just got to prepare, because this is telling you there's a shift that's going to take place. And they may say it's 10 years, but I truly believe it's not going to be 10 years. I believe it's going to be way before that 10-year period. I think that they're going to actually have this rocking and rolling in the next 5 years, because this is the 3rd autonomous truck driving company that has already done some type of border crossing travel, cabless travel without someone in there, cabinless travel without someone in there. The third one to actually do it, the difference between them is that they're moving a heck of a lot faster and they secured a couple more contracts than some of the other guys. But if they're competing, you better believe that they're competing, and they're the nearest trucking company. If you're a trucker, you work for a trucking company, you got to understand that your trucking company, they're gonna weigh the difference between keeping you on or even probably paying 100, 200,000 for something like this that never rests. It always is on time. They have less to deal with when it comes to E&O insurance and crashes and possibly being sued for hiring somebody that's an immigrant that either lied or they didn't validate their information correctly. All these things matter and they add up over time. So they're looking at how they can save their money because this industry is always hit with lawsuits.
And it's built in order to be able to take that stack and apply it into real life customer use cases.
Who loads them, and how does that all work? If let's just say I'm a company, I sign you up, I've got some warehouses, I need these trucks to come and take away my stuff and move it.
Exactly. So the transition to autonomous is a gradual transition that we're working with our customers. So in the first instance, you would start, looking at the shipper data and deciding which part of that route you want to sort of make autonomous using the vehicles. And you start off with from one endpoint to the other, loading and offloading still being done by the.
Look who he has up there already: Heineken, Lidl. I don't know these other carriers. We know he's got Coca-Cola, so if you're a Coca-Cola driver,
personnel at the respective endpoints of that station. We've then done trials together with other technology providers in terms of automatic loading and offloading, for example. So that's why it's a gradual process working with customers, automating, the actual.
Wow, he said automatic loading and unloading. So we've even talking about freight loaders, guys who load it.
Private vehicles, and then you continuously sort of automate the other parts in the value chain as well.
You may be third behind Kodiak and Aurora. They've both been on the show, but you've shown some regulatory leadership in all of this. You were the first, I believe, globally to get AI permits. Is it AI permits for cabless, heavy-duty autonomous vehicles on public roads? So you're in Tennessee. How's that going? Any snafus, any accidents, any traffic incidents?
We have been able to, through that sort of step-by-step approach and working together with our customers and the regulators, showing the safety case and gradually increasing the complexity of the environments in which we operate our vehicles. We've been able to operate in our customer operations without having any sort of traffic incidents in those operations.
None? Zero?
Zero.
That's batting 1,000. Congratulations. That's great.
Zero. I know people that have been hit by 18-wheelers and the companies had to dish out millions upon millions of dollars. There's a lot of lawyers, attorneys that make their bread and butter off of chasing. That's you get ambulance chaser. They make millions of dollars. One call, that's all. Morgan & Morgan. So for the people, by the people. Look, that's a free plug for Morgan & Morgan. But at the end of the day, they are coming for your jobs, guys. And I'm just telling you, they're going to come for it. If you're a driver, you need to change your career. You got 5 years, 6 years. I would move over to a blue skilled job, a blue collar skilled job, such as HVAC, electrical, plumbing, largely just because those things, those positions, things like that, those jobs, just like that, they line up perfectly. They line up perfectly with the rise of AI. So whatever's taking place with AI, it lines up perfectly with getting into those types of blue collar skill jobs. Okay. And without a shadow of a doubt, this is not just talk. They are here to stay, and they're not playing. They're not playing at all. And because it's such a race to get to it, that's why I say it's not going to take 10 years.